What is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another edition of Break the Chains Media. Today is Friday, February 4th, 2022, and I'm your host, Corey. I'm going to dub this one Freedom Friday, and I wanted to get it, just kind of clear up my last video regarding the Freedom Convoy, the trucker convoy that's going on right now in Ottawa, in Canada. And I wanted to just make it clear is that I understand what's going on, and I understand that there's a lot of people there, truckers, citizens, patriots that are genuinely there to fight against government mandates and overreaching government tyranny. I get that, and that is excellent, and they're doing a great job of peaceful protesting in the best way that they means possible. And I want to clear up the fact that when I said PSYOP, it's not necessarily that the whole event was a PSYOP or it was conjured up by the government, because that's not what I believe. I believe that there is a likelihood or a possibility that there could be a Fed type overtake or a Fed type motive behind the genuine action that is these patriots and these truckers doing the right thing and standing up. But I genuinely think that there is a potential possibility for a Fed type or a PSYOP in the aspect that they could try to smear this movement or defame this movement. I mean, you've already seen Trudeau calling it a racist or hateful rhetoric when in fact that there were not. However, I've seen videos of someone walking around fully face masked and can't see his identity, walking around with a Confederate flag, and some people even like waving like potential Nazi propaganda. But these are the kind of, agent provocateurs that could easily co-opt or use a good-willed and good-intentioned protest, peaceful protest, as a means to promote a government agenda ends. And that's kind of what I was saying in my previous video. If you want, you can look that up it'll be linked here as well as at the end of the video. But and then I addressed how the governments of the world and the Great Reset and this World Economic Forum have plans to implement AI and artificial intelligence to control the supply lines or control infrastructure or mitigate the infrastructure or how supply lines are operated, so that way they could push forward further government control of supply lines. So that's kind of what I was meaning in the last video. Just kind of wanted to clear that up. But in this video, I wanted to discuss what the Freedom Convoy is doing next. If they are to be using this as a peaceful protest, as a means to awaken the masses, so to speak, if they're going to use this to show how the people have the power and governments need to step back in their overreach, in their tyrannical methods, instead of doing what they're now calling for, the convoy to DC that they are planning to do in March, I propose that they do a convoy to the Super Bowl. Or hashtag, we could hashtag it Super Bowl Convoy 2022. I don't know, but I did read a couple different thoughts and other people discussing this, but I think this is a much more effective way rather than driving to DC, because DC is a failed state. Let's all admit it. DC is just as failed the people as Canadian government has, and governments, Australia governments, Austrian governments of the world have failed in their respect for the people, the rights to the people, and how they're trying to use this new pandemic and the way that the world is operating now as a means to push more government control, right? So what better way to peaceful protest this than to shut down one of the world's largest propaganda, social, cultural events that the world, particularly America, follows, is the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl has been used by the elites and by the establishment to promote occult narratives and, in no other easy way to put it, ritualistic practices. Any halftime show and the commercials, everything involved with the Super Bowl is very heavily propagandized, commercialized, incentivized, and it's all mind control in aspects like that, So what better way to co-opt this type of ritual, if you will, than to have the Freedom Convoy drive to the failed state of California, the corrupt hellhole ran by Gavin Newsom, and have the truckers shut down all of LA at the SoFi Stadium. I just think that's an excellent way to do it. I'm going to be going over a couple different articles and all that in this video. If it's the first time checking out Break the Chains Media, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, share this with your friends and family. Hit me up on Telegram, t.me/breakthechainsmedia. We can have conversations and discussions all about this. I have the main Break the Chains Media channel on Telegram. I also have a chat channel as well that you can find there in the pinned comment in Telegram. But right below here is a pinned comment in YouTube with all those links, so you can check that out there. Okay, but we're going to jump into it here real quick. I'm going to show you a couple articles here. Trucker convoy to DC 2022. America is next. So they were talking about how they're going to try to push the convoy to DC. Okay, and that being said, the convoy to DC group on Facebook has been removed from Facebook. Okay, as they're protesting these mandates. And if we scroll down, the group Convoy to DC page on Facebook was removed Wednesday for violating policies around QAnon, Fox News reported. See, they're trying to shift the narrative and to turn this patriotic and potential genuine movement of opposing government tyranny into something more nefarious, right? Let's see here. They actually had offered the administrators to remove content and request to review again. They didn't even give that option when they removed. They didn't even ask for removal of said post. They just kill switched it, right? What they said, the reasoning behind it was, we have removed this group for repeatedly violating our policies around QAnon, the statement read, referring to the conspiracy theory that devil-worshipping pedophiles operate the highest level of government. Now, we can go on. We can talk about that in my alternate tech exclusive videos. I'm not going to speak much here about it regarding the YouTube censors and overlords. But I think if anybody has an inkling as to my viewpoints on that, we might be able to understand a thing or two. Okay. Let's see here. Trudeau also talked about the convoys as racist and hateful rhetoric, right? That there's not a right to shut down our democracy, our democratic process, Trudeau said. Okay? Trudeau also called these unacceptable views. These protests are holding unacceptable views. Trudeau is a tyrant. He was part of the Klaus Schwab graduating class of the Davos group. You can look it up. And Klaus Schwab even admits he has politicians around the world that are put towards this great reset narrative that they're trying to instill, and Trudeau is one of them. Okay? So I firmly believe that this trucker convoy to DC needs to be shifted. Rather than driving across the country from California to DC, they drive from where they are now to the Super Bowl, to SoFi Stadium, which is right here in LA. Okay? SoFi Stadium is right here off the 405 and the 101. Okay? Or sorry, 405 and the 105, excuse me. Right in the heart of LA. Okay? What a better place to lock down and shut down than this cultural hellhole that is the Super Bowl, that's been propagandized and pulpited by the mainstream, by politicians, by the establishment, used to formulate and function narratives that promote, I would simply say nefarious means or occult views. It's just very ritualistic. So what a better place to do that than the Super Bowl. Hashtag convoy to Super Bowl, or hashtag Super Bowl convoy 2022. I think that's a much better ring to it, right? Yeah. So, and then this is an article proving that what Trudeau said is completely wrong. These convoys are peaceful. They're holding their ground. They're not being hateful. They're not defacing any property or being, destructive in nature, like some other protests in the last year or two have been. That this that this Trudeau supported the BLM. Okay. Meanwhile, they're literally burning down cities across America and other countries in their peaceful protest. Meanwhile, all these truckers are blocking roads and traffic signs and honking. Okay. I don't think that there's an even remote comparison. Okay. So I would say that all in all, the Freedom Convoy is a positive movement. Okay. Trudeau calls truckers' protest an insult to truth. Yeah, I've already said that. So all in all, I think that the Freedom Convoy has well-intentioned meanings, and it's overall a good thing, a good way to peaceful protest your government, to shut down these systems, to control these systems in a peaceful manner. However, I'm going to address it and state it again and again. There are means for a government psyop or a government-controlled Fed operative to come in there and co-opt the narrative and shift the narrative and place blame and to try to funnel these things into what could be deemed as what Trudeau says, hateful rhetoric or racist or misogynistic or whatever word he wants to use to describe them. There could be Fed operatives within these groups that are well-intentioned. The Fed operative could co-opt that and make it nefarious, not very similar to what happened on January 6th. And I said that in my previous video. Just be wary, be alert. If you're going to support these people, understand that movements like this can be easily co-opted and easily used to funnel a globalist Great Reset narrative. We have to make sure that if you are going to be protesting like this, you need to do it peacefully, and you need to understand that the government is the root of the problem. The government is the corruption and the evil, and their overreach is what we are protesting against. The government tyranny, the medical tyranny, all of these things are what we're standing against and peacefully protesting to stand up against. Period. End of story. So with that, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you all. I appreciate you. Follow me on all my new tech platforms. Hit me up on Telegram, t.me/breakthechains media. And as always, fight for freedom.